Wednesday at SEC Media Day, and UK was picked to win its 6th regular season conference title under John Calipari. Now, if they win, it would be the 49th regular season title in history and would be the 15th time in 20 years the Cats were named the overall favorite. 3 Wildcats were selected to the preseason All-SEC teams. Sophomore guard Ashton Hagens is first team, and freshman guard Tyrese Maxey and sophomore forward E.J. Montgomery were named second team. Florida's Kerry Blackshear, whom Kentucky tried hard to get, is picked as the preseason SEC Player of the Year. And the UK basketball broadcast season begins tomorrow night with the blue-white scrimmage. More about that tomorrow. When the Titans take the field on Sunday, Marcus Mariota will not be the starting quarterback. Ryan Tannehill will be. He was obtained in the offseason from Miami, where he'd been the starter. His record with the Dolphins, 42-46. Mariota has struggled this season. The Titans are 2-4. Mariota was benched in the Titans' last game against Denver. Game number 4 in the American League Championship Series between the Astros and Yankees was rained out on Wednesday. They'll shift the schedule around and make up that game tonight. And the Predators are on the road tonight at Arizona. That's it for your Thursday. Join your fellow UK fans on Facebook in Wildcat Lair. I'm Eddie Owen.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Penny Rowell Home Medical. You've been listening to your WPKY News Edge. Find news 24 hours a day at WPKYOnline.com. Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster.
This is a critical moment in our country's history.
One of the more powerful members of Congress, Maryland Democrat Elijah Cummings, died early this morning of complications from various health problems, according to his office. Democrats got up and left a meeting with President Trump about Syria, accusing the president of insulting House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
They walked out of the meeting and returned to the Capitol, where Pelosi spoke to reporters.
I think now we have to pray for his health, because this was a very serious meltdown on the part of the president.
President Trump claims it was Pelosi who had the meltdown. He tweeted a photo of her standing up in the cabinet room during the confrontation. The meeting happened shortly after the House voted 354-60 to rebuke the president's decision to withdraw troops from Syria.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland, Vice President Pence, and Secretary of State Pompeo are in Turkey now to push for a ceasefire in Syria. America's listening to Fox News.
W277CK Princeton. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Mostly sunny today with a high near 62. Clear overnight tonight, a low down to 39. Tomorrow, sunshine, a high 69 with clear skies tomorrow night, a low 46. Weekend outlook, sunny and a slight chance of a shower in the afternoon Saturday, a high 71. Partly cloudy Saturday night, a low 51, and sunshine for Sunday, a high near 75. Again for today, you can expect mostly sunny skies and 62.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Taco John's. Time to take a look at community news here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. This morning's community news is brought to you by Community Medical Clinic.
Well, calling all employers and job seekers, the city's next free third Thursday job fair will be held today. Now, that's at the Tourist Welcome Center in downtown Princeton from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. Absolutely no cost for anyone to participate. Now, if you're an employer that would like to set up, please register by emailing codayoung.princeton@gmail.com or giving them a call at 270-625-4827.
Test First Christian Church in Princeton is hosting their installation service and reception for their new pastor Saturday at 3 p.m. Join them as they welcome Reverend Dr. Jonathan Webster. Reverend Doug Bird will provide the message with church and search and call committee members and other special guests participating. You can visit fccprinceton.org.
Well, kids of all ages are invited to join Green Grove Baptist Church in Providence for their fall festival. Now, that is this Saturday at 4 p.m. Lots of food and fun and games, fellowship. Green Grove Grove Baptist Church is located just off Highway 120 West in Providence. For more information, you can call Brother Wesley Curtis at 270-625-3512.
And Tess, looking forward to this one. Join Caldwell Medical Center and WPKY for Health Fest 2019 this Saturday. Get in the full day of family fun, local entertainment, kids activities, bouncies, food trucks, health screenings, and community vendors. Get in the blood drive and flu shot clinic as well. WPKY's Tess and Ty, that's us. We'll be there from 10 to 2, so help kick off the day of fun and festivities.
Well, now, Walnut Grove Baptist Church in Fredonia invites everyone to join them for homecoming. Now, that's this Sunday. Music will be provided starting at 9:30 by Brantley Bowes, and homecoming message will be given by Brother Leon Drennan starting at 10:30 a.m. There is a meal after the service.
Lyon County business owners, farmers, and residents are being asked to attend the joint public meeting on high-speed fiber access of Eddyville and Catawba, Lyon County, and the Industrial Development Association Board. That's coming up Monday, October 21st at 5:30. The Lee S. Jones Convention Center is where that's going to be in Eddyville. For more information, 270-388-4769.
Well, now, anyone in the Caldwell and or Lyon County communities in western Kentucky that's interested in learning more about or signing up their kids in Boy Scouts are cordially invited to the Boy Scout Open House at Ogden Memorial. Now, that's on Monday, October 21st at 6 p.m. in Princeton.
Get spruced up with quality mulch from Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road in Princeton. We all know that buying mulch by the truckload saves money, and it's only $25 per load for dark natural mulch at Bashir Sawmill on Dawson Road, 1/2 mile past City County Park. Bashir Sawmill also buys standing timber and timberland. Give them a call today, 270-365-2330. That's Bashir Sawmill, family owned and operated in Princeton for over 50 years.
Hancock's Neighborhood Market on Commerce Street in Cadiz is the place to shop for delicious homemade goodness. Hancock's makes their own fresh chicken salad, pimento cheese, salads, and a variety of mouthwatering desserts, sure to please your entire family. While at Hancock's, be sure to visit their meat department for the best selection of USDA choice meats in the area. Hancock's Neighborhood Market in Cadiz, hometown homemade goodness, and the Hancock name you know and trust for quality for your family. Hancock's Neighborhood Market on Commerce Street in Cadiz.
The holidays, time to enjoy with those you love. If you're thinking about new flooring in your home before the holidays, now's the time to stop in at Perry's Floors and More and let them help you find the perfect flooring that will not only add warmth and style to any room in your home, but also flooring that will stand up to the wear and spills of everyday life. Whichever floor you choose will be backed by reputable manufacturers and installed with expert care. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors and More, 127 West Market, Princeton. Call 270-365-9869.
West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction will hold a big auction this Saturday, October 19th, starting at 9 a.m. Selling will be furniture, tools, antiques, and collectibles. Come on out and enjoy the fun and auction. The auction starts at 9 a.m. at the auction house located on Highway 62 West in Princeton, the former Hancock's grocery location. West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction. Wayne Boyd, broker auctioneer. To find out about other upcoming auctions, go to westkentuckyrealestate.com.
If this community is as important to you as it is to us, we invite you to join us weekdays for our WPKY local newscast at 6:30, 7:30, noon, and 5. 20 newscasts a week means we're committed to keeping you informed on local events. You can also find news when you want it at WPKYonline.com. Thanks for listening to 1580, 103.3 WPKY. It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. And good morning. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on the show. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and YourSportsEdge.com. Glad to have in the studio with me this morning Caldwell County Youth Incorporated President David Brown. David, how's it going?
Good, Griff. Good. Thanks for having me. It's a great time for Youth Incorporated and Caldwell County sports. It really is.
Yeah, we got lots to talk about, and also in on the show again this week, back from vacation.
Yes.
It's Ty Englebright.
Refreshing, but it was a little bit warmer where I was. But thanks for having me today. Love being here.
You know, a lot can change in a week.
It can.
Last week I was sitting here celebrating the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'm telling you.
And now the season's over.
What a baseball season it's been. I'm not so sure anybody is left in the National League. I mean, the Nationals were kind of that team of destiny, I think a lot of people thought. But, fact is they're pretty darn good, too. Their pitching's outstanding. But we'll just have to wait and see. They're just sitting back and waiting on who they're going to meet. The game got delayed yesterday due to the weather on the American League side, so we'll just have to see.
Cardinals were playing in the NLCS, I think, for the 10th time in 20 years, so got to take that.
You got to take that, yeah. And their bats kind of went silent.
Yep.
And that's what happens in baseball when you meet good pitching and your bats go silent. That's the recipe for disaster.
October's the time for pitching. There's no doubt about that.
Well, who is still left? The Yankees? I forget about the other side.
Yankees and
remember
Astros, and they again, what a matchup. I think most people probably thought that followed the American League thought those were the two teams that were going to be vying to make the World Series, and we'll find out. I think their game was delayed due to some bad weather up east yesterday. But
Houston
we'll
2-1, isn't it?
Yep.
Isn't that the way that it is? And good gosh, they've got a ton of pitching.
They've got a ton of pitching, and like you said, David, there's no doubt pitching and defense this time of year is what it's all about.
It wins championships, and it is the ultimate. And what I think you'll end up seeing is Houston and Washington. I really, I think that's the way it'll end up being. I know that hurts a lot of feelings, but you can't beat great pitching in the off season.
Well, that's what we always say about baseball. The three most important things. Pitching.
Yeah, it's true. and Matheny, somebody did I see something on Twitter this morning?
Yes, you did.
What's up with that?
At one point, I thought the Kansas City Royals were going to hire him. Now somebody says the San Francisco Giants are after him. I'm not sure about some of these coaching hires.
Todd was up early tweeting this morning because
that's where I saw it.
Yeah. That tweet hit early this morning. I was like, man, he's up early, and
it was up late.
Maybe that's what it was. but yeah, that's interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see how. Of course, Joe Madden to the Angels. That was recently.
That right there, that one move will absolutely turn the tide, especially out on the West. That guy is that valuable.
Yeah,
he is that valuable. There are certain coaches, managers in baseball, and I don't care what sport you talk about. When it comes to leadership leads and leadership wins. You will see them.
No doubt.
It's like when the Cubs took on Theo Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
When he went to the Cubs, I told the boys, I said, look, World Series champion within 5 years, just watch and see. And lo and behold, here he goes doing his thing. Well, you can say the same thing about the Los Angeles Angels, that this guy wins, and you'll see them in the postseason deep in the years to come.
No doubt about it. And you hit the nail on the head, I think. It's leadership, because I'm a firm believer, whether it's in life, whether it's in business, whether it's in baseball, you get sound leadership, and a mediocre team with talent.
Yes,
but you can win with that.
Absolutely.
Talking baseball this morning, and I know everybody doesn't want to hear me cry about the Cardinals all day, but
okay.
You know what? I'm actually pretty happy with the season. If you go back to the All-Star break, I thought the Cardinals had the third best team in the National League Central all year, and they won the division.
Yeah.
They probably had the sixth or seventh best roster in the National League. They were one of the last two standing. I'll admit, usually I'm one of those World Series or bust kind of guys, because Cardinals have won 11 of them. But this season, I think they had a good season to build on. They just got to do a few things with the roster for next year. They got to find another bat or two. Need to get a closer so they can move Carlos Martinez back to the rotation. Everything will be okay.
Don't you think it was the best outcome for what they had?
Oh, yeah. I think they got as far as they were going to get. Yeah.
And that was as far as they could go with what, the pieces of the puzzle that were there. And if I were you, yes. I mean, I'm an American League guy, but as a Cardinal fan, yes, I would be tickled with. Well, you have to swallow and be satisfied with the outcome.
Well, I think the Dodgers and the Nationals were the better of the two division series.
No doubt about it. I'm a Braves fan, and I don't keep up with them like I used to, but I think they can look at their season. Of course, they had bits and pieces and some issues with some pitching and trying to figure all that out, and then they have older veterans that don't no doubt lead the team, and several young, outstanding players that are just going to be incredible as they move forward. They have a great farm system, so there's a lot of things positive about the Braves as well. And I think their management's good as well. So I think they're going to be fine. But the Cardinals, I'd be excited about them because I think they'll be right in the mix next year.
Absolutely, both
and the Braves as well.
The
Yeah,
Braves and the Cardinals. Now my Red Sox, that Mookie got married and he lost his edge, and it's tough. It's tough. You're gone, and I'm not saying you can't be married and be great, but he got married, and it's just tough to be away
and
from
Mookie's
home.
been in Princeton.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has, and we'll be glad to come back if anybody decides that they want to bring him.
Talking a little baseball this morning, and we've got a lot of other things to talk about. David Brown, Caldwell County Youth Incorporated president, is here. We're hoping Rhett Miller, Caldwell County girls soccer coach, will join us just a little bit later. Ty Englebright, our Warren Zevon in the house. There you go. And we got to get to a break, though, here on the Sideline Report, but we're going to continue in just a bit, so stay with us as the Sideline Report rolls on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
You're listening to the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY. The Sideline Report is brought to you in part by ABC Finance, Bashir Sawmill, U-Ride, and Barkley Hudson State Farm.
Need cash fast? Get the money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
Life doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes money is tight when you need it most.
At ABC Finance, we're here for you.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
And we can help you in a pinch, even if your credit is less than perfect.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000 and the individual attention to help you get your finances back on track.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointment is needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call, and we will take your application over the phone.
Or you can apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
And like ABC Finance on Facebook.
ABC Finance in Hopkinsville on Fort Campbell Boulevard next to O'Charlie's and in Princeton Plaza. ABC Finance. All loans subject to normal credit approval.
It's not too late to lease a residential, commercial, or agricultural propane tank, so you'll be prepared for this winter. Give Fortner Gas in Princeton a call today to get on their schedule now while prices are still low. If you are an existing Fortner Gas customer and refer a friend for a new tank installation, you'll receive 50 gallons of propane for free. Fortner LP Gas Company in Princeton, a locally owned family business since 1951.
We are back on the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. David Brown, Caldwell County Youth Incorporated president, is with us. Ty Englebright sitting in right now as well, and got a great show lined up for you, David. What's the latest with Youth Incorporated?
Well, we had our monthly meeting last night, and sorry that you were out on the road. Just glad that you do what you do, but more improvements to come. The plant board has done an absolute phenomenal job. Dwight, Matt, the whole crew, all of the guys out there have put in weeks of work to move primary electrical. They're replacing poles. We're going to have all new light poles. We're going to have new lights. All of the electrical is going to be underground, which is going to be a huge, huge move in the right direction. Until we can get the steel poles, this is the next best thing. We voted last night to resurface the two backfields, I call them, the Oliver and Tilly fields. Those are going to have completely brand new surfaces for the kids and eliminate some of our some of the holes that develop over time. And we're going to continue to plant trees as far as our tree fundraiser goes. And so we're going to have new parking lighting for safety. We've made a ton of improvements, and I would thank you, Todd. I would thank everyone that's a part of the board that have helped make this possible.
I think it's pretty obvious over the last 5, 6, 7 years that everything's headed in the right direction. I think sometimes some of us would like to move quicker, but you can only do what you can do, you know.
Well, when I drove into town, I've told it several times, 5 years ago, my wife, I said, hey, I want to drive by the park. So we drove over there, and the first thing that we both said was, oh, my Lord, all the telephone poles. It looked like a climbing facility, for training and fire safety and all of that for linemen. And we have, my number one goal was to eliminate some of those poles, to put more lights per pole, and to make the park pop so that when you look, that's not the first thing you see. You see some green, you see some parking, you see some of the beautiful parts of the park, the fields and everything that surrounds it, rather than something just slapping you in the face. And thanks to the plant board, thanks to Randy Jordan, and so many others that have come and helped, it's becoming a reality. But yes, I wish that we had new steel poles, and I can address that if you want to, but we're not going to stop trying.
Well, so much has been done out there, and it goes back to the high school teams and the parents that did all the work over at the VFW ballpark, the brick work behind it, the dugouts, extending those things several years ago. I mean, that's kind of where the whole thing got started.
It has been a creep in the right direction. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Now, my personality, I'm a runner, and so, I want to dash in and get it done. Unfortunately, the cost of things now is your hands are kind of tied behind your back, or it's like a sack race, if you would, So with divided ownership at the park, some of our grant possibilities are no longer available. And hopefully the new board with Dwight and with you and so many of the others can continue to go down this road and make things safer, make things better, make things more beautiful. And I'm certain that they will.
Yeah, we have a really good local park complex, and I think we've talked about it before. A lot of times the way a community is judged by a lot of people is your park facilities.
It's roads, downtown, and parks. I mean, that's the way people look at our community, and it's essential. It's essential for our community to have something that they can be proud of. And from next month will be my last month as president of Youth Incorporated, and I'm proud of everything that we've accomplished. I'm grateful to the community for their continued support above and beyond. We got a community like no other, and I've been a part of a bunch of them. And so I know that'll continue, but we've got to continue to go out, volunteer, serve, do, fix, make better, and I know that that'll happen. I know that it will.
One of the issues that the ballpark has always had, and it continues to have, is that there are so many different entities involved in ownership and maintenance and just everything. And that's great because it shows that, the community is able to work together to make the park function. If the community couldn't work together, the ballpark would really be in bad shape. But, just the way things worked out. Nobody planned it that way. It just kind of grew that way, and that's the situation we're kind of in now.
That's right, but as David mentions, it is a community effort, and it has been for many years. You say 5 years ago you drove in and saw it, but my goodness, look at the strides that have been made. It may not be the progress as quick as you want to see it, but yet progress is being made. And we talked about the metal poles, and for those of us that it would be a game changer for us hosting regional type tournaments and those kind of things, and other type of events. And again, that's probably something that's going to have to be on hold for a little while due to the expense, the cost, and just getting that done. But my goodness, I remember the days being out there, and you had the old batting cages that were used to be used there. They were just falling down. The traffic going through there. You had to be very careful when your kids were playing because somebody. But what a tremendous job this board and the community has done. The scoreboards, the fence out at the big park, just tremendous.
I'm glad that you brought up the improvements, because I certainly wouldn't want to get stuck on the negative side of it. The divided ownership will be an issue, and it will keep our hands tied to a degree. But that also gives a double portion of service and improvement. And as the school makes improvements to the fields that they own. And what
are the details of the divided ownership? I know at one time the school board owned part of it, and then they were going to do some swap, and there was a lot of deed work that was going to have to be done, and really issues. But what exactly? How is it divided up?
Well, the school purchased that. It's always had a divided ownership. That park out there that we call Ratliff Park or Youth Incorporated, it's always sort of had a divided ownership. Youth Incorporated was given the onus of the care and maintenance of it all, and that continues to be true. But the school they had they couldn't make improvements on something that they didn't own. So they bought the high school baseball field from the VFW. They bought or are in the process of buying the playground, the old American Legion, and the lot between the American Legion and Hallam's Automotive from the American Legion. So two different entities there. And the county, who actually owns the ground, traded the girls' high school softball park for the two backfields and the pavilion area with the school, so that the school could own both of their fields, and the county could kind of maintain a presence and a level of ownership there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's not confusing at all.
Well, and, we could go on and on.
Well, I knew there was a time, but I think it's important for us to understand that and that arrangement, because when we talk about the improvements and how they get done and who's doing this and who does that, we need to know who is responsible for that. But there may be a time down the road when things can change, and these grant opportunities might become available if some of the restructure happens, or there's some sort of restructure down the road. You never know.
I can promise you that even though I'm not a part of the board, after our November meeting, that I'll continue to go to Frankfort and plug for these Land and Water Conservation Fund grants. I'll continue to plug Major League Baseball for their pregame grants, and I'll continue to work on that so that we can come up with some money to make improvements. And that I'm certain of the fact that the school's going to make improvements. They have committed themselves to do that, and the community is watching and waiting for them to do that. I have no doubts that they will.
And not to muddy the water, but what complicates the grants because of the dual ownership? What makes that so complicated? The cooperation aspect of it, or just because there's two entities of ownership?
The Land Water Conservation Fund grant requires a lifetime title lien. and it says that the park has to have a lien on the title saying that it can never be sold and become private property. So if the government is going to give money to make improvements on a property, they want to make sure that it remains a park. And so having two different ownerships, they said there's not the possibility of placing a lien on the park. I petitioned and cried and begged and said there's still, 3 great fields here that we own as a county and still want to make improvements there. And they said it's divided. There is a title and a deed that shows that this property is divided. And so we've got some work to do. We've got some groundwork to do, but it's coming. It's coming. We will get things done.
Fantastic.
And unfortunately, it always comes back to the money aspect. I was in Henderson last night for the boys' second region soccer tournament. Was told earlier this year that Henderson could not host the regionals anymore because their lights weren't good enough. So they went out and got new lights. Now the field looks fantastic. It's bright as day, after the sun goes down. But it's just the difference, and they had the money to go out and do that, and sometimes we struggle to find the funds to get everything done.
Well, Todd, I'll address it, and you may not ever want to have me back after I actually address it, but I'm going to say it. I don't have a good filter, but I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, and you're going to know where I stand. Those lighting systems, for instance, Musco, they will finance an entire project. For 20 years, they'll finance lighting projects anywhere and everywhere. So if a community like ours doesn't have $400,000 that they want to drop on lights, then they'll finance that. And so a community like Henderson sees the value of going ahead and spending that money, because a regional tournament is going to generate $400,000 for the community when all of those teams come to town and eat and fill up gas and shop and pay to get in and that money. So it's a worthy investment in my mind, but that's going to yet to be decided by future boards.
But let's be honest, if you said $40,000, everybody would take a step back. You said $400,000. So I think a lot of people see those big numbers, and including me. I mean, anytime you see a number like that, you pause a little bit.
I understand. I really do, and I can appreciate the caution. I'm not a cautious person, so that doesn't register with me, because I know what kind of money a regional tournament generates for the community. That has a ROI, a return on investment, that's literally satisfied within 2 years. And if you can find an investment that does anything in 7 years, you better jump on it. So it's a worthy investment to me. It will require the school and the county to go together and do it all at once and make it happen. And I believe that we've got the leadership in place with both groups to do that, and I certainly expect it to happen.
I mean, it would look great to have the metal poles out there. If you go to Crittenden County's park, they have those. Yeah. Lyon County's done a lot of work at theirs. I think, again, here in town, we've done a lot of work at the ballpark. It certainly looks 1,000 times better than it did before, and you got to keep pushing forward. But again, that's such an expenditure. It's going to be one of those deals where it's just, that's one of those things that you're just going to have to keep working toward. But at this point, it's kind of tough to see that happening.
Well, I know that obviously, apparently, it is, a little far-fetched on my part. But
and I'm right there with you.
I know,
I would love
I know
to see
you are.
that.
I know. I think everybody in town would be. But if you get to thinking about it, and I can throw in tourism into this picture and show how that we can help to make that stuff happen. Should the people choose? Should the council choose to go in that direction? There's so many different pieces of this puzzle, and all it takes is some leadership to sit down and say, hey, we're not leaving this room until we get this thing solved.
Where's Joe Madden when you need him?
I think we've got him. I think the mayor, and I think the county judge, and I think the super. I know you do. And I wouldn't want anybody to hear me say that it's not there. I believe that it is. Just they've got so many things going on. This one little thing over on the side, we may not see it as top priority, but you all, when you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, the mayor that we've got, the judge that we've got, and the superintendent that we have, I think it's a great group of leaders, and I really believe that even though it seems like since we're putting up these new wooden poles we're going to have more lights, it's going to be a lot brighter and a lot better, that doesn't mean that we're walking away from our dream.
Going to be interesting to see how it all works out in the future. Can't wait to see the ballpark. And like I said, one thing I always thought when I thought of the ballpark was that we didn't use it enough. And that's something we've kind of made some strides on. We have more tournaments now. We have the fireworks show. To me, the more you improve it, the more you get use out of it.
Well, I want to thank, one of the things that I wanted to do was to make the fireworks something that was an annual huge success, and want to thank Dunk again for that. He's played a huge part in it. The Woodall Agency with their insurance, the fire department here. But I want to thank you, Craig, Dwight, and Brock being a part of that fireworks committee, and I want corporate sponsors to come alongside so that we can continue to make that bigger and better. And tourism even talked about it this week, about providing some entertainment alongside the fireworks, having our tournament out there, and just making it a weekend-long deal that is huge for the whole community. And I see that.
There's a tremendous – I mean, I was blown away by the crowd out there. It was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, they were stacked up not only at the park, but in the outer fringes of a mile, almost a mile radius. It seemed like it was at least a quarter mile. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about street sides of streets away from the park. Of course, the good thing is there's a good view at most places. You don't have to be right there.
Yes.
But yet, Food Giant parking lot was packed. Youth Incorporated parking lot was packed, and then you went out to the streets all on the side.
Plant board.
The plant board, and so I drove right through there just to check it out, and
I did too.
I was like, what in the world?
It has gotten bigger and better, and Dunk won't even tell me what he spent on fireworks. I know what little money we gave him, and so kudos to he and. Brent and the fire department here for their coordination of it all. It was huge, and but I think we're going July 3 this year, and it's going to be bigger and better.
And it's going to happen.
It's going to be it's going to happen. He's already assured me that he's willing to come back and do it again. The committee, the July fireworks committee with Youth Incorporated, is committed to making it bigger and better. Tourism is committed to making it bigger and better. And so I think what you'll end up seeing is a weekend event at the park to use it, to highlight it.
Yeah.
To highlight it.
I thought having a softball tournament out there last year was a big thing. I mean,
it was.
That's what the park is, and then you add the fireworks on top of that, and there were a lot of people from Crittenden County, Trigg County, Union County that were here that stuck around for the fireworks.
They did. And I purposefully drove. Of course, I'm thinking tourism and park in my head a lot of the time, and I purposely drove to see how many people, where are the cars, and then after it was over. Right, I knew when it was supposed to be over. I take off and hit the restaurants in town, and I just watched the ones that are still open fill up one by one. The convenience stores fill up, and so it impacts everything that we are as Princeton and Caldwell County. And so, great event. Fredonia does an incredible event, and so. good stuff for the future, stuff that I can walk away with proud and continue to come and help.
Be great if we could coordinate all those things with the ballpark here, Fredonia, whatever else we've got going on, and just make a big week of it and celebrate Caldwell County.
I think what you'll end up seeing is a tournament having boys and girls that weekend. We had, there's a great deal of communication and cooperation between the neighboring park systems. Bobby Joe does a great job with the baseball and softball, and the July the 4th had always been the Katie's thing. That's where everybody went to Trigg County, and lo and behold, I think maybe he has kind of slid in that direction, and now July the 4th becomes a Youth Incorporated Caldwell event, so that we can have teams at Fredonia, so that we can have teams at City County Park, so that we can have teams at Youth Incorporated that weekend, so that we can have teams in our hotels, so that we can have teams eating in our restaurants, so that we can have teams' parents shopping downtown, and that whole weekend becomes a blowout. And we're talking about a minimal investment for a huge return.
We need to get to a break here on the Sideline Report. David Brown, Caldwell County Youth Incorporated president, is with us. Ty Englebright sitting in today. Rhett Miller, Caldwell County girls soccer coach, is on the way. We hope to have him on the show here in just a bit. So lots to come. Stay with us on the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Mostly sunny today with a high near 62. Clear overnight tonight, a low down to 39. Tomorrow, sunshine, a high 69 with clear skies tomorrow night, a low 46. Weekend outlook, sunny and a slight chance of a shower in the afternoon Saturday, a high 71. Partly cloudy Saturday night, a low 51, and sunshine for Sunday, a high near 75. Again for today, you can expect mostly sunny skies and 62.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Raider Auction Company.
You're invited to the first annual Community Health Festival presented by Caldwell Medical Center. Join them Saturday, October 19th for a day of games and family-friendly activities. Live local entertainment, food vendors, and free health screenings. Join the fun. Special thank you to their sponsors: BB&T Bank, Wetzel Law Office, Planners Bank, Morgan's Funeral Home, Hydro Gear, and Farmers Bank. For more information, go to CaldwellMedicalCenter.com.
Some people just have a knack for being there when you need them the most, like your third grade classmate who sticks up for you against that bullet, the neighbor who gives you the jump start, and the friend who chases away that flock of geese at your outdoor wedding. Your State Farm agent has your back too, through good times and the not so good. And who's got your agent's back? State Farm, the company people have trusted for more than 90 years. We're here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Barkley Hudson at 270-365-7521.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
Imagine if there were a place you could go to buy gift certificates to some of the best businesses in town. Now, imagine all those great gift certificates priced 30, 35, 40%, and at times over 60% or more off retail every day of the week. The Loyal Listener Big Deal Store is online and waiting for you to shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses. Go to WPKYonline.com.
We are back on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 and WPKYonline.com. Want to tell you about Dave's Deal of the Week at U-Ride in Princeton. This week it's a 2007 BMW Z4 Black Automatic. See Dave for details at U-Ride in Princeton. That's U-Ride, 310 Marion Road, Princeton. Telephone 270-365-3215. Be sure to ask about Dave's Deal of the Week. Again, we are back on the Sideline Report. David Brown, Caldwell County Youth Incorporated president, is here. Rhett Miller, Caldwell County girls soccer coach, will be joining us in just a little bit. Ty Englebright is here. And Ty, unless I added wrong someplace, I think last month we passed 2 years of the Sideline Report.
I believe that is correct.
Sweet.
And
Really, congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And, I'm not the Sideline Report, but we had a vision, a couple years ago where I was struggling, getting good quality sports information. I thought, I got just the guy.
Yes, you did.
And so,
Yes, you did.
and
Who
so
was it?
You're sitting right there,
Yes, he
and
is.
you've taken it and run with it. But what a great job you do. We're so blessed here to have you at WPKY, and the Sideline Report continues. And thanks to our sponsors as well. The original sponsors are on the Sideline Report. We started the Days Deal of the Week, and the Black Beamer sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Yes, it does.
but I'd like to take that one for a ride. But yeah, Todd, congratulations and great job that you do with Caldwell County Sports and on your SportsEdge.com as well.
And the funny thing was, we weren't really sure we'd make it through the first show.
No, we were
Isn't that the way it goes, though?
It is. But we got, when you have David here, he can fill up an hour, help us fill up an hour pretty easy. But
That's sweet,
yeah, we
yes.
said, what are we going to talk about? Now we've had some candy fluff fill in every now and then, but it's been hopefully entertaining.
Are you talking about our top
I'm
five?
talking about
Because
our
I
top-
get people asking me about the top
Oh,
fives.
yeah. I think they became, and that was completely your idea to kind of throw that in there. But we've luckily haven't bored too many, I don't think.
Well, even the first show we did, I remember we never even said how long the show was going to be.
No.
We just got on the air one morning and started, and we thought, well, if we go 15 minutes, it's a 15-minute show. If we do a half an hour, it's a half-an-hour show. And I think we went over an hour that day.
We did, and your vision. I mean, my vision for it wasn't quite what your vision was, but I think it turned out the way it should be. So, congratulations to you, and job well done, and keep up the good work. And thanks for having me from time to time.
Absolutely, and mainly thanks to everyone that comes in.
Yes.
It's very rare that you try to get somebody in here and they're not here when you want them, and whatever day you want them, and they show up, and like David, able to talk and give us a lot of information.
Definitely able to talk.
Well, and David steps down, as you were talking about your Youth Incorporated. You need to be commended because it takes, and thank you for what, driving by that park when you come back to town 5 years ago and looking at it. And I know you have wonderful memory. You grew up in that neighborhood.
That's right.
Number one.
That's right.
You cross that creek and go over there and throw balls and hit balls.
We did.
We all grew up playing ball out there. And then to see that and say, you know what, I'm going to make this a project, and I'm going to help rally the community. But you need to be commended and thanked because it's persistence. You probably bugged the heck out of people. I know how you use that's your personality. You probably David. Here comes David. But it takes. But that's wonderful because it takes persistence and people who care to get things done.
Yes, it does.
And thanks to you and this board that's been out there, because I've seen drastic improvements since my kids were playing out there. So thank you for what you've done, and keep up the good work for you, too, because you've been persistent and caring and just a gadfly for this thing. I mean,
I'm not going away. I'm just not going to be on the board. I asked them last night to let me continue to work on my tree project, and we put it on hold because of the trenching with the electrical.
Tell us about the tree project.
Well, I had this dream that everywhere. Let me back up just for a second.
Yeah.
Everywhere that our boys went to play, there were trees around the park. And it was a great place to sit in the heat of summer. Mm-hmm. It was a huge idea for safety to knock down foul balls from hitting someone. Rattle the leaves, you know that it's coming, you can cover up, whatever. And I looked, and we had 2 trees at our park, and the kids climbed on them, and it was awesome the way that they used it, but we didn't have a park. To me is green, and we didn't have green at our park. So the tree project is a tree memorial. We ended up planting 20 trees last year, and each tree is going to have a slate marker. If you sponsored a tree, then it would be a marker, and it could say Ty Englebright. It could be for your coach that was an impact in your life. It could someone that you wanted to memorialize. you would make this donation to the park, and we plant this tree and place this marker. And so it serves numerous purposes. As the walking trails become reality here with the tourism side and United Caldwell, good morning. This will all be incorporated with it. And so they're laid out specifically for the purpose of green, protection, shade, and a memorial trail, so that, for instance, we should have one out there. There's already one or two trees, and Angie Jordan, that we placed there, and then the young man that last year. And so there are numerous individuals that place has impacted their lives, and we want to make sure that they're remembered for their contribution to our community and to our park.
We were mentioning some people earlier, trying to thank the board members and all those, and there's so many people that if we tried to name everyone, we would definitely leave somebody out.
Yes.
But Jeff McDaniels, who was
Huge.
president before
Huge.
you, he took a big undertaking when he took over that job, and really did a great job getting the park back going.
And he and the new girls basketball coach, Chuck Mitchell, Dustin Cash, came last night to talk about increasing our numbers for basketball. And before I turn things over and you get a real guest, that Youth Incorporated basketball, there are sign-ups that are happening. We're going to be in the schools tonight and next Tuesday. Some of the Caldwell County Lady Tigers, some of the Caldwell County Tigers, they're going to give up some of their practice times to come and hand out registration forms for the basketball, which to me is huge. Our evaluation, we've decided to do it on a Sunday afternoon. If somebody gets mad, I'm sorry about that, but it's a great family event, and to me, family events is Sunday afternoon. So we're going to do an evaluation on Sunday afternoon. I think it's the first one in November. And the high school players are going to be a part of that. And we're also going to be involved in, the Big Blue Madness that the high school teams do here as well. They're going to allow our youth basketball players to get involved in that. And so with the injection of a new coach and new ideas, new passion, and I think the direction is going to be great. Our numbers are currently down for a number of reasons, but if you have a child, a grandchild, or just a neighborhood kid that should be involved in youth basketball, we want them. And also to add to that, and I'll shut up, the high school coaches are going to be involved in the coaching of the teams this year as well, along with some of their players, so that there's a connection there to the high school program, but also a level of competency that makes sure the instruction is there as well.
Got to get to another break here on the Sideline Report, but Lady Tiger soccer coach Rhett Miller has joined us. We'll be talking to him when we come back, so stay with us as the Sideline Report continues on a Thursday morning here at 1580 103.3 WPKY.
You're listening to the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY. The Sideline Report is brought to you in part by ABC Finance, Bashir Sawmill, U-Ride, and Barclay Hudson State Farm. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Mostly sunny today with a high near 62. Clear overnight tonight, a low down to 39. Tomorrow, sunshine, a high 69 with clear skies tomorrow night, a low 46. Weekend outlook, sunny and a slight chance of a shower in the afternoon Saturday, a high 71. Partly cloudy Saturday night, a low 51, and sunshine for Sunday, a high near 75. Again, for today, you can expect mostly sunny skies and 62.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Wallace Towing.
Everyone is so busy these days that finding time to do your banking can actually become a chore. Fredonia Valley Bank makes it our top priority to have your banking needs met with ease by the touch of your phone and online bill pay. Your banking experience will be fast and accurate with less time paying bills or having to make stops to do business. Talk to our tellers today and sign up for online bill pay and internet banking for your convenience. Our tellers will gladly explain the different types of accounts we offer that would best fit your banking needs in today's world. Fredonia Valley Bank, 602 Cassidy Avenue in Fredonia, 226 Commerce Street in Eddyville, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Back on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Joined in the studio now by Lady Tiger soccer coach Rhett Miller. And Coach Miller, glad you could come in this morning, and thought you guys had a great season this year.
Oh, I thought we had a great season too. I just seen the progress of the girls throughout the year. Had a great record at 12-8-2 coming and finishing up the season, and I was pleased with what we did. Even played well in the very final game there, so I was pleased with the whole season altogether.
Well, you guys had a couple of tough games to finish. You played Madisonville in the district championship, and then drew Henderson County in the first round of the region.
I don't know what it is about having to draw Henderson, but I don't think it seems like the basketball team does the exact same thing. We didn't draw them last year, but when it's a school that's 5 times bigger than our school with 5 times as many players and athletes, and it makes it difficult. But we gave them a run. We played with them. I was pleased with what we did.
Well, I thought Madisonville was probably shaping up to be the team to beat in the region. And University Heights got them last night.
Yeah, I'm still in shock after seeing that. I didn't go to that game last night because I thought Madisonville would beat them 2 or 3 goals. And, last night I got a text that said UHA beat them in PKs, and I about fell on the floor. I just could not believe that. I mean, Madisonville came in with a 19-1-1 record to the regional tournament and then gets beat by UHA, who we tied in the regular season and thought we should have won that game. So kudos to Coach Parker and UHA for what he does with those girls, but I fell on the floor last night seeing that score.
That fold in there. Yeah. I better shut up. It happens. It happens there.
Yep.
And it's usually a struggle between us and Henderson to get the crown.
Yep.
You did a good job.
Well, and I think it shows just how close our teams are in the fact that you guys played UHA to a tie. The guys beat Hopkins County Central once this year, played them tough in the district. Hopkins Central played Hopkinsville a 1-0 game last night over in the boys regional.
Yeah. Well, it just shows you high school sports, period. I mean, that's just the way that it is. It just depends on the day and who's in a good mood and who's not. That's why we play the games. We don't just put it on paper and say we win.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun. That's what sports is fun.
Well, looking ahead, you lose 3 seniors, I think, but man, you've got a whole lot coming back next year too.
Yeah, we're already looking forward to next year. I'm going to miss the 3 seniors for sure, but we're already looking ahead. I'm already trying to figure out new formations for what we to do what we got to do, and it's going to be an exciting year next year. We'll have 7 seniors next year, and most of those seniors have played. At least 3 of the 4 years are going to be playing all 4 years. Some of them have started for 4 years, or for the last 3 years. So it's a good group. It's a good bunch of girls. They got good athletes. A lot of them have been playing club ball and other places. So them being a senior, I know their parents are looking forward to next year already too.
And you're looking at kind of the same scenario next year, though, as you had this year with Madisonville being a really good team in the district. Cameron LaGrange, I think, has 98 career goals, and she's a sophomore.
Well, we could talk about her for a long time, but what's even worse is we're going to lose 3 seniors. Madisonville North's losing 2.
Oh yeah.
So, and it's not her because she's just a sophomore and she's got 98 goals. And let me tell you, that 98 goals is a little bit deceiving because anytime they get up on somebody, she comes out. So she'll score 2 or 3 goals and they'll get up on somebody 5-0. And then she didn't play in the quarterfinals games in the regional tournament. She didn't play a single minute in the second half because they were up on Trigg County 5-0. So you take those 98 goals and then you add to what it could have been had she stayed in the game, and she's just a heck of a player.
But you guys did a pretty good job against her in the district championship game.
Well, we have a really good defense, and we get most of that defense back next year. So, except for one, and with Kelsey and Maggie this year, they did a good job holding her, and we did pretty well against teams that were single-dimensional, meaning had those 1-star players. We did pretty well against those teams and to hold those girls back. So we'll see what happens next year with her. I'm sure she'll come back and be just as good or better. but we should be able to hang with them.
Well, I was going to ask, what are your expectations for next season, and how good can the Lady Tigers be?
Well, if you look at our season this year, and I can only compare it to the last 2 years because when I coached, I can think back to some of the other teams, but last year we kind of had a goal by the end of the season to be able to compete with the good teams. We only had 2 seniors last year, had 3 seniors this year, so we were just young. And last year we got to where we started to compete a little bit with the better teams. This year we definitely competed with the better teams. I mean, we tied Murray, tied Hopkins. I mean, we got beat by Murray 2-1. We tied Hopkinsville 0-0. We tied UHA 2-2. We hung with Henderson twice at 3-0, compared to last year getting beat 10-0 with them, by them. Madisonville, the second game was a close game. The first game was not very close. Graves County, we got beat 2-1. So we were right on the verge. We competed with all the good teams. So the goal was obvious. Next year we win.
Yeah.
Next year we beat the good teams. And that's not far-fetched at all to beat just about anybody next year for us. Barring Madisonville North, I think they're going to be a big struggle. And, of course, they're in our district.
Well, and you said you need to find a way to generate more offense next year.
Yeah, that's going to be my sleepless nights from now until next year on how I'm going to be able to do that. We don't have a Cameron LaGrange. We don't have somebody that you can just get the ball and they're going to get 2 or 3 goals per game. We don't have anybody like that. So we have to figure out, as coaching staff, we have to figure out how we're going to be able to get into a place where we are producing a lot of offense. We have produced good defense. Our defense has been solid, but the game scores have not been very high because we haven't been able to produce a lot of offense.
I got an idea that now mine are not necessarily ethical, but I'll cheat.
You're live on the radio.
Yes,
right?
I do. I do. I was just that, and I just. Does her mom or dad need a real good job?
Who, Cameron McGrath?
Yeah. We can. Maybe they need a real good. Maybe the radio station.
I'm not going to comment on
I
that.
know. I wasn't even going to put you there. I was just messing with you.
Coach Miller, though, 2 years was it 2 years ago? I think in the middle of the summer, it's kind of like, we need a soccer coach.
Yeah,
and did you ever think? And did you ever think though? And I knew it when you took the helm, because I mean you're an old coach from way back. You're an old player. You love it. But man, what a fun group of girls you've had to coach these past couple of years.
Oh, it's been great.
And you got this great core of seniors coming.
When I took the job last year on a whim, just overnight. Actually, not overnight. Within 3 hours. I mean, it was.
It was last minute.
Last year, I was asked to take the job at 8:00 in the morning. I accepted the job at noon, and we had practice at 4. So.
Day before the season started, wasn't it?
The season had already started.
Had it really?
Yeah, season had already started. Games had not started yet, but the girls had already had one practice, and I took it because it felt like God. So that's where God was leading me to do it, and my daughter lit up when I asked her if I should be the coach, and so I took it, and I told him I'd do it for 1 year and 1 year only, and here I am 2 years in, and I'm definitely doing another year, and then I'm eligible to retire after that, so who knows what I'll do after that. I'm not sure, but it has been a blessing to me. I've enjoyed the girls. I've enjoyed the parents. I've enjoyed the sport, of course, and I've enjoyed seeing the progress in our Lady Tigers.
Well, you can see it. You can feel it when you're out there. And it's just awesome, and congratulations to you all because it's a fun season, great season. I know you're chomping at the bit just for next season to get here.
Well, we're going to start indoor in 2 weeks. We're playing in Hopkinsville Plex. I got a middle school team that's going to go, and when I asked the girls, they said, "Hey, you all want to play indoor? There's going to be 2 sessions, and you have 75% of your kids that go. Let's go."
Yeah, that's great.
That's the day after practice, the last game. So that's exciting to see the excitement in them, and I hope that just continues to carry on and carry on and carry on.
This is the Sideline Report on WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky. And, Rhett, it looks like you have numbers up in the program, which is, always a good problem to have.
Yeah, we came in this season. We had 37 players, and now that's 7th grade through 12th grade. And we have 12 7th graders this year, and I think we're actually going to end up having a couple more. They're going to come out in that 7th grade class in the fall and in the spring as well for middle school. So that's a big class, and that helped. Actually, it kind of gave me problems because I had a varsity team and I really had 2 JV teams. So that gave me some issues with JV and playing time and such, so that a lot of the girls didn't get as much playing time as they wanted to. But what a great problem to have, and some of those girls are going to filter in to play varsity next year, so that's going to be exciting.
What do you guys have to do now just to get to the Hendersons and the Madisonvilles and to play at that level?
Well, we have to get to a place where we're we talked about transitioning a lot this year, but we are again at a place where we have to transition and not to harp on the offense and to score. And so to get to that type of level consistently with a Caldwell County soccer program, pretty difficult to do. I mean, it's just that simple. Let's just face it. I don't care what program we're looking at here. It's not football, because football's classed. Right. Everything that's not classed, how do you compete with 2,200 students and our 525 students? Well, you don't. Generally, you don't. And you get one of those years every once in a while where you beat one or two of them. But consistently, if we'd have made it through in the regional tournament, we had to play Henderson, Madisonville North, and Hopkinsville. Those are the three teams we would have had to play, and UHA. And, of course, UHA is private, which is a whole different conversation because they can recruit and we can't. Yep. So those things are stacked against us. But, sports isn't for just winning. It's for development of kids and programs and making them good ladies and gentlemen and making them understand how games are played. And everybody in this room's learned so much from sports that we could sit here and talk about it all day long. So that's what we do. And we can harp on the fact that Henderson's huge, or we can be excited about what we are.
Well, I was going to say you're going to have to come back and be on the show sometime because we can talk about, the implications of sports beyond winning. We can talk about realignment, classification, and those kind of things. And we can, have a nice discussion on Star Wars.
No doubt about it.
Right. We can do all those things.
This guy has done some pulpit work and has a whole sermon he does on Star Wars.
I do.
You got to come to Fairview and do that.
Well, I can do that, yeah.
You need to have him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, we'll just have you in sometime, and you can tell us all of those.
Well, I'll just get on here and preach. Sure, we can do that. Dave and I just tag team preach. And there we have it. Let's go.
You're next.
that would be interesting. I would love to see you guys trade off on.
It would work.
It would be
Everybody tune in at WPKY. We're fixing to preach. Here we go.
And, it would be interesting.
Well, I appreciate all you guys coming in today. I wish we had more time, and like I said, you guys have to come back sometime, and we'll pick it up where we left off.
It's been a great year for us. We're excited about what's going on. I'm excited about what's going on in Princeton. I'm excited about what's going on in the Soccer Association. We've had good numbers in the Soccer Association. They have not fallen off like some sports, but there's definitely almost a competition right now with all the different sports that kids can play and all the different things that they can do. And you add that to a lot of kids who are just staying home playing Fortnite, then of course things are going to go down. So we're excited with what's going on. I hope it just continues to improve.
That's Caldwell County girls soccer coach Rhett Miller. Again, thanks to Caldwell County Youth Incorporated President David Brown for coming by. Ty Englebright, thank you as always for sitting in. Appreciate it. I'm Todd Griffin of WPKY and YourSportsEdge.com. That's going to wrap up the Sideline Report today. We thank you for listening. You've been listening to the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump tweets, "My warmest condolences to the family and many friends of Congressman Elijah Cummings. The Maryland Democrat died this morning, 68 years old."
The congressman's office says he passed away at a hospice care facility early this morning. The congressman was born and raised in Baltimore. He served for several years as the ranking member on the House Oversight and Reform Committee, but became the chairman after Democrats became the majority party this year.
Fox's Mark Meredith. That committee is one of three meeting privately with Ambassador to the European Union Gordon Sondland this morning as part of the impeachment inquiry. There's a deal for how the European Union will be breaking up with Great Britain at the end of the month if